its name. Let's just leave it for today. That works better all the way. It's better left unsaid on the warpath like any other day. I tried to sing my name, but being afraid to take up space, so I'm losing all the way. I got a lot to bruise, but I'll save it for any other day. Oh, you don't like it, you ain't like it, so they say. Call me when tomorrow hits like any other day. Oh, you don't like it, you act like it, you act like it, you don't like it, you act like it, you don't like it, you don't like it, no. I'm not sure who I am as I look you in the eye, and I'm not sure who you are, but I'll tell you how to breathe like a woman does. Every other day I think I need me most, but that's where I get lost. I tried cutting like a ghost, but I feel like I've been sold to another man like every other day. Oh, you don't like it, you ain't like it, so they say. Call me when tomorrow hits like any other day. Oh, you don't like it, you act like it, you don't like it, you act like it, you act like it, you don't like it, you don't like it, no.
Hi, so I'm with Miranda Arieh. Welcome to Music for the Head and Heart.
Thank you, nice to be here.
So let's start with a question I tend to ask a lot of artists. What is it you love about music?
I love music because it's it's like a language that crosses all borders. It's something that people feel rather than, think too much about. It can have such an emotional reaction, and also, like, from a songwriting perspective, just to be able to express myself in the form of melody and words in a song just feels really healing for me as well.
And you have your stage piano here today, the
I do
Korg.
indeed, yeah, the Korg. Good
Not
old
the
Korg.
lightest of pianos, but sounds
It's
great.
a beast, yeah.
And I understand that you also have other instruments that you play as well?
I do, yeah. So I play bass and I also play acoustic guitar, although I don't really do that much live anymore. But I play bass with Sisterhood Music Collective as well.
Do you have a favourite in any of these instruments?
I really love playing piano. Like, piano for me, it touches something really deep in my soul that acoustic guitar never did, because I used to do my solo sets just playing acoustic guitar and singing, and it never really resonated with me in the same way that piano does. It feels really in my blood to be playing piano, and my mum was a concert pianist when she was a child, so I think maybe some of that has sort of rubbed off into me. And bass, I love playing bass. I absolutely love it. Like, for Sisterhood Music Collective, it's a group of 4 female singer-songwriters that we've founded together, and we play solo but all on stage at the same time and collaborate on each other's tracks. I play bass throughout the majority of our set, and I just love it. It feels like, it really does something to me. It really moves me, and I like it just feels great to play bass as well.
So we were talking a little bit before this interview about artists, and who has inspired you to date, and why those particular artists?
Well, we were just talking about Lady Gaga actually, and very recently the guy who does my makeup for my videos sent me quite a lot of Lady Gaga videos to watch, and I'm really in love with her artistry. I think that's absolutely beautiful. And then also other artists like Joanna Newsom. I don't know if you've heard her. She's a harpist, and she sings and plays harp, and her voice is a very acquired taste, and a lot of people don't like it, but it's so unique, and I just adore the way she presents herself and sings, and the way she uses words. And I love the harp as well. It's an instrument on my list to learn one day. And other artists I love Patti Smith. I saw her live last year. She was incredible. And then going back to, like, even early, my early influences are all in punk, funnily enough. Though I was an absolute punk when I was about 14, 15, 16. I was in punk bands, and
Who are your punk favourites back in the mid-70s?
Well, I didn't really listen to much mid-70s punk. I was more into sort of 90s punk, NoFX, Lagwagon, Pennywise, Dropkick Murphys and just, yeah, so I was really into all the sort of, I suppose it was sort of modern punk back then, Less Than Jake, some ska stuff, and yeah, I really enjoyed a lot of that punk, and that's definitely still at my roots for sure.
So if you think about, like, you clearly have a great love of music. So here's a question for you. What makes for a really great song in your view?
Something that makes me feel, you know, like there's so many times when you're playing a lot of gigs on the road, you get to see a lot of musicians and you get to see a lot of shows live, and there's so many people that I've seen who are technically brilliant and they won't ever play a note wrong, and their voice is perfect and it sounds beautiful and it's technically brilliant, but their music just might make me feel absolutely nothing. But then I can see someone who might be shaking because they're so nervous and their voice is quivering, or they might play bum notes or whatever, but their music resonates with me on a really deep level and makes me feel something. So I'd say that's probably really, really important to me. And one of the quotes that I absolutely love and I always carry with me, it's a quote from Beethoven, and he said, "To play a wrong note is insignificant, but to play without passion is inexcusable." And I love that, and I just carry it everywhere with me.
So we talked a little bit about music and mental and emotional health, and I know that's been an interest of yours. So what involvement have you had in that, and what thoughts do you have on that area?
I've had so much involvement in it. Like when I was a teenager, I was about 14 years old, and I was sectioned into an adolescent mental health unit at High Roads Hospital in Yorkshire. And I was really struggling a lot with like depression and anxiety, and I was self-harming quite badly, and I'd been running away from home a lot, and I think they just didn't know where else to put me. And I was in there for about 9 months, and I was a massive rebel, like I was saying before. I was really quite a punk at heart kind of thing. It was in there that I first sort of picked up a guitar, and it had one string, and I remember first starting to write on that, and I'd always written loads of lyrics. I have files full still, just of papers that I'd just written poems and lyrics on, and drawn pictures, and I'd always been very creative with the way I was feeling. But then I found that medium, and I immediately started writing songs on this guitar, and yeah, that really, really sort of showed me like, wow, okay, this is what helps me. This is what I find therapeutic, and this is a way that I can express myself. You know, when a lot of the time I wasn't able to say how I was feeling. If someone was asking me, I wouldn't be able to say directly in a sentence how I was feeling, but I could put it in a song and I could write about it, and it would help me move that energy.
So I understand mostly you're writing your own material?
Yeah, I write all my own material. I don't really do covers. Oh, apart from I did do one Bob Dylan cover very recently for a charity compilation I was asked to be part of, so I did a cover of a Bob Dylan track on piano.
Which one did you do?
Don't Think Twice, It's Alright.
Oh, it's classic.
I love that song so much, yeah. So I did that, but that was sort of a one-off, yeah.
So when you're thinking about what inspires you in the writing process, is it a lyric? Is it a sound? Is it how do you put together your own songs?
Do you know, a lot of the time it can be something just going on in my head. Like I might literally just get a hook in my head and I'll start singing something to myself, and it might be a phrase that I've heard someone say on the bus, or something I might have just said, or it can be anything. And sometimes I will literally just get melody and word in my head, just a hook, and I might just go to my piano and start to work it out and build it into a song. Or a lot of the time I will sit down and just write words. You know, I've got a notebook. It's always important to me to have a really nice notebook that I really love, and at the moment I've got one with like a unicorn on the front. It's like an ancient tapestry on a really lovely notebook, and I'll just write down ideas in there all the time, like just little sentences, a lot of conversational stuff and ideas I have, and then sometimes I'll fit them into songs, and then sometimes I will just sit at my piano and I'll do something wrong on a song that I've already written. I'll be like, oh, that sounds nice, and I'll just sort of explore the piano in that way, because I'm self-taught, so I don't really know any of the names of the notes or the chords. I just sort of feel my way around it and hear what feels nice. So sometimes I just write like that, but it's always different the way I write.
And for people watching this who are thinking about writing their own songs but might think in their heads, oh, I don't know if I could do that? What advice would you have for somebody who's really starting out?
Well, I think like if you're feeling like writing a song, even if you're worried that you can't, just do it. You know, like recently, the Sisterhood Music Collective that I was mentioning before, we got funded to do some songwriting workshops across Leeds in deprived areas that where people wouldn't normally have access to be able to go to songwriting workshops or learn instruments and stuff. And we did these workshops, and it was just sort of about giving it a go. And a lot of people, well, all people surprised themselves actually. You know, most of them were really, really nervous, but they surprised themselves with, and they surprised us actually, like with the way that they could come up with expressing themselves creatively through lyrics, and the way that they could so quickly pick up an instrument as well. You know, for me, I feel like if you can go like that, you can play piano. I really do, because you can play it, so you just hear what sounds nice, you know.
And if people want to find out about you, what are the best ways that they can connect with you and find out what you're up to?
I'm on all social media channels, so Facebook / Miranda Arieh Music, and then Twitter and Instagram, Miranda Arieh, yeah, and I post all my videos and songs on there as well.
Life is just a distant road here and now, rivals the sense that I know here there were times I pleaded like no other, but from close up seems I'm feeling further from the place in which I stopped remembering was my only hope to stop pretending. There are times I felt I spoke too soon, and so I look for something to move forward. They say in the meantime I'll learn to swim. They say in the meantime God let me in. The kettle alone when I'll be back home. 'Cause I never wanted the easy road. The blessing of a lesson learned is that one said is done, it lives to serve, and so I'll keep my head clear for my Savior, and that's how I learned to be a stranger, and I'll stay in bed and I will keep my light on. There are lesser grounds of which to fight on. There are prayers answered every day, but what you give cannot be taken away. They say in the meantime I'll learn to swim. They say in the meantime God let me in. The kettle alone when I'll be back home. 'Cause I never wanted the easy road. No, I never wanted the easy road.
I know you've spent a lot of time working on your videos, and some of them are wonderfully out there. So tell me something about your thinking behind the videos and the process for coming up with what you come up with.
I think for the songs that I do, it feels like I enjoy all the processes, writing the words, writing the song, laying the vocal melody over the top, seeing what I'm going to do with my voice. I love the recording process, and then the video is sort of like the icing on the top of the cake. That I don't feel like the song's almost finished until I can like visually represent it, and it's felt really amazing for me to be making videos where I can take on different characters within each video and permanently reinvent who I am and sing the song from this character's perspective. And when I'm going to do a video for a song, to think, okay, who is it singing the song? So like the last one I did, it's like I wanted to be a lizard, sort of like I was really lucky to be working with a team that when I said I need to be a lizard for this one, they were all like, okay, yeah, look great. And like the makeup artist was like, he was like, okay, yeah, great. Well, we've got these lizard ideas, and like, and you know, it's really nice. It's really refreshing to be working with people like that, and just sort of how can I visually represent? It's another form of expression, like I said before. It's all about, for me, expressing myself in that way. So a lot of the time, of course it's part of me, and the characters are all part of me that I take on in the music videos, but it's sort of, I'm acting as well as a character, and someone else is almost singing the song, and who is best to sing that song? Is it a lizard, or is it a clown,
And from your music to date and from everything you've done, if you could sort of pick out one moment where you go, you know what, that was a really great moment, what would you pick?
Throughout the whole time I've done music, this is because I think keeping it up to date and keeping it present, like this week's been a fantastic week for me. Like I started to focus fully on music just a few months ago and quit my jobs and decided actually, to take the plunge and take the risk, because my whole life since I was a very, very little girl, all I'd wanted to be was a singer. All I ever visualised in my head was wanting to be a singer, and that was the thing that soothed me when I was a child. That's all I ever thought and imagined I wanted to be. And so it was going to have to happen at some point. And this week, like throughout January, in fact, like this week has felt really lovely for me, because every single day I've been doing music. On Tuesday I did music with Leeds University and did sort of a session with the students. Yesterday I did a session with BBC Leeds, and then today I'm doing another session and an interview. And tomorrow I'm doing a rehearsal with Sisterhood Music Collective. So it feels like now is the best time for sure for me, because it's like I'm just getting to do what I love every day, and that's just what I want to do with my life, because life's too short. I don't want to wake up and dread what I'm going to be doing in that day, or go to sleep on a night thinking, oh God, I've got to get up. Like this morning I had to get up early, and I was like, great, I'm getting up early because I'm going to go play songs and do an interview, and it's going to be really exciting, have really great conversation and stuff. So now is the best time for sure.
Well, thank you so much for coming on our platform. We really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Life is just a distant road here and now, rivals the sense that I know here there were times I plead